knittage, right? Make sure y'all go to the website, therealdribble.com. Check the knittage. It's fabulous. You dig? Go get you one of these. This called a Rollo and shit. This that 70s boogie. You dig? We bringing that shit back, but you see me, right? Can you dig it? Nick, you ready?
Make sure you stay close to the mic.
Huh?
Sometimes you be swaying to the side.
All right.
It's all right to move a little bit, but keep it right in front of you.
Can you when you be editing and shit, you can see it? Did I be moving? You can see it?
Yeah, well, when I'm editing, I can hear it.
All right.
I hear when your voice get lower from moving back.
I'm trying to get my dribble right. Let y'all see. My engineer, Nick, say what up.
Yeah, what's up with it?
So, we about to get busy. This episode, I think, 24. But let y'all see how the pros do it. Turn me up, baby. Let's do it. Play my song. Play my motherfucking song. Audio kind of came in late. You hear me? Let's do it. Shout out to the dribble. Big U, New Jersey. Happy birthday. Big U is a Libra, and yesterday was his birthday. So shout out to you, my nigga. You said you needed me to give you a drop. I just gave you one live on air and shit. Nick, I think the music came in just a couple of seconds late. There was a little gap there, but all right. Straight to the business. Keefy Dizzle. Keefy Dizzle for shizzle. The murder of Tupac Shakur was revealed. It's probably been 5 days. It's probably like day 4, day 5. Viral is a motherfucker. Of course, you know, they saying it's the biggest shit since the OJ trial as far as, you know, a celebrity murder scandal. You know what I'm saying? I guess they just excluded Robert Blake. But yeah, Tupac. His family has gotten some justice. Right before I came down here, I was watching a video. Keefy D started, that nigga just like to talk and shit. That nigga, as soon as he got in the police car, he just started to talk to the motherfucking arresting officer. Like when he was in the back of the police car waiting to be transported, he asked the police officer, like, do you know who I am? Do you know what this is about? You know, he asked him, what you here for? He said, this is for the biggest, this the biggest murder case in Las Vegas history. That's what he said to the police, and he continued to just talk and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's up with homeboy, but he talked himself into an arrest. So he's the only surviving member of the guys that was in the murder white Cadillac. So he bought the case because of all of the things he said online and in his book. Boom. The grand jury documents are out. We've been reading them. We are in tune with what's going on. One of the things that was revealed is that Orlando was not the shooter, as most people thought. For many, many years, it wasn't Orlando Anderson. It was Andre, Big Dre. He shot out the driver's side, passenger side window or whatever. And he the one that killed Tupac Shakur. He confessed it to one of his Southside Crip roommates, and it was spoken of, and it was just, they left it alone. It was something that was spoken of in Los Angeles, but for the most part, people thought that Orlando Anderson did it because he's the one that got assaulted. Anyway, the big beefy arm that was reported to come out of the Cadillac, it belonged to a 6'5", 370-pound gang member, Big Dre. So that's who was the shooter. Since then, we've learned that the police in Compton, a lot of the police in Compton, they're speaking about the grand jury reports. And one of the grand jury reports was a police officer who's testifying at the grand jury, where he said, you know, how long that he was a police officer in Compton, how long he knew all of these guys. He knew Orlando very well. He knew Big Dre very well. He knew Keefy D very well. He knew all of these guys by names. He knew they was all Southside Crip gang members. He said that they were already, prior to the Tupac shit, their names was already involved in murders in Compton and shit like that. Big Dre and Orlando, both of them allegedly had bodies prior to this whole situation with Pac. A lot of people are implying that maybe Puff Daddy is going to get mixed up in this situation. Eric Von Zip Martin has been dead for many, many years, and that's the link between the Southside Crips and Sean Diddy Combs. Diddy never was dealing directly with these guys in regards to this hit situation. There was a mediator. There was a guy between them by the name of Eric Von Zip. He's the guy who, according to Keefy D, provided the murder weapon. He was running around in Vegas with trap doors and stash boxes in his vehicles. He had a hammer. He gave it to them niggas. Keefy D passed it to Orlando. Orlando didn't have a good shot. If you think about it logically, if Orlando leans over Big Andre to shoot Tupac, hot shells is going to be hopping out of this gun in his face and gunpowder and a whole bunch of other shit. So it was more convenient for Dre to take this shot. Boom. Tupac's gone. And it was just something that happened in the gang world. This was like regular business to them. They was already living like this. Out of all of the people that, Pac decided to get mixed up with that night in Las Vegas, it was some guys who might have already had intentions of dealing with him and Suge Knight, according to what we being told. There's a guy from the Southside Crips. His name is, I believe, is D something. I can't remember the rest of his name, but he the one that's doing a lot of this telling. He bought some cocaine, or had wires on, and got Keefy D and all of them mixed up in some shit. And it's been very, very dark for them ever since. Why this man continued to talk about this shit? I think he might be terminally ill. Don't nobody want to, just voluntarily get your ass to the prison system knowing that you're going to die there. But he had no co-defendants. He had no reason to get involved with this shit at this point. It was just something that was, people thought Tupac's assassin died with Orlando Anderson, and it wasn't even him. It was his homeboy. But that's burning up the airwaves right now. Everybody is saying puff, 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 puff next, puff next. If you think about it logically, that's Keefy D's only out. That's his only way of getting out of the way of some of this drama, is by saying that, and he's already proven he's not shy as far as talking and shit. He'd proven to everybody that he'll run it. He thought that he had some type of immunity, I understand. He didn't have immunity in Las Vegas. That's where he being charged with this murder. And he made his first court appearance. And I believe the nigga still feel like he's like a star. The way that he was speaking to the police officer in the back of the cruiser, I believe he's accepting this, like, some infamy type shit. I don't know how long he's gonna be here though. It seemed like they said he has cancer. This has been something that's been spoke of prior to him being arrested for some years, right? For some years. He even said something about it on Vlad TV. Speaking of Vlad TV, I believe I seen a video where Vlad claims to have solved the Tupac Shakur murder by his interviews with Keefy D. That's a bold statement. I said that I solved something before. I said that I solved the robbery and shooting of Tupac, but he didn't get killed or anything like that. And I believe that I did give some truth to that situation at Quad Studio in 1994. But this right here, it just seemed like this brother wants credit for this. It seemed like he wants credit for this. They gonna put him away. There's no way possible, no defense possible. And there's no reason for them to offer him any plea bargain because they got his ass in a vice. That they really, really got his ass in a vice. If he probably complete to a death sentence, 30 years or some shit like that. He's still gonna die. But they got his ass in a vice. He's on camera. He's on camera many, many times saying that he passed the gun to the shooters of Tupac Shakur. He's on camera saying that he retrieved the gun from Eric Von Zip. This is a whole murder conspiracy that he articulated for the general public. I don't know whether he did it to sell his book or what, but this is an open and shut case. This is an open and shut case, in my opinion. From where I'm standing, it appears to be an open and shut case. All of the what's admissible and not admissible, he wrote a book about it. I think that's plenty physical evidence. That's beyond a statement. That's physical evidence. And I feel that that's damaging as a motherfucker. I don't see him getting out of this. I don't. A lot of people in the comments are divided. Are divided by the justice being dealt out to Dwayne Keefe D. Davis. A lot of people are saying, damn, them niggas jumped on his nephew. He was only 18. I believe he was like 18 or maybe 19. He was a teenager. Them grown niggas jumped on his nephew. They were supposed to act on it. When you jump some niggas, I've jumped niggas. We've jumped niggas. We jumped niggas. It just happened. Like, you know, you 100% have to get out the way after you roll on somebody, man. You got to skip. You can't be hanging around. There's no hanging around. Nothing good is going to happen by hanging around after you roll on somebody. Straight up. And the most weakest, docile, non-aggressive male, you can jump on him, roll on him. What happened to Orlando Anderson, put feet on him, and a person can lose it and come back and Columbine the whole shit. You know what I'm saying? Because of what some niggas did to them. So the fact that they did what they did it out of town, they did it right on the spot. So I was like, damn, man, what did you expect to happen? What did you expect to happen for that type of act? And knowing that this is a gang member, I wonder, did Tupac know that he was swinging on a Southside Crip when he walked out there and swung on him like that? I wonder did he know that? I wonder did he think that he was just a regular person that tried to take Trayvon's chain at the mall, was involved with, you know, some hood politics. Maybe he thought that. I don't know. But the decision to be a civilian, some people say he had joined the mob Paruba at that point. I don't know. But the decision to put your hands on a LA gang member, that takes fucking balls, man. In that manner, to jump out there like that, a civilian, an entertainer, to just jump out there like that, just to put their hands on a person, these niggas really do this shit 24/7, like, that was extremely bold, and it proved to be fatal. That's something that we can't forget. Everybody gotta be mindful of their own personal conduct. And there was some poor decisions made that night. I know them niggas had just walked out of seeing Mike Tyson knock a motherfucker out. You know, could have had a little liquor involved, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what the thought process was, man. I've been in the MGM, man. Lots of bright lights and shit, man. That shit be on Boogie. But to do that shit in public, you gotta expect some retaliation. And he probably thought that he was rolling with somebody, marrying Suge Knight, who nobody was gonna retaliate against. That's what... Picked the wrong niggas. They picked the wrong niggas, man. As far as the Puff Daddy, the Diddy theory, see a lot of people saying some things. It remains to be seen. I do know that nobody's going to come at him half-assed, man. As far as prosecutors, you got to have your shit together fucking with Diddy. He coming with an A-list dream team. His law team, they going to be all pro. You know what I mean? First team type shit. Magnum cum laude. You can get ready for the... Like they said, this is just going to be as big as the OJ situation. But one defendant, as of right now, one defendant, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, he's made his court appearance. And it's feeding the internet. It's feeding the internet. I seen someone... I feel you was taking a shot at me, nigga. I seen your video. You was walking with Haitian Jack and you said, yeah, it's a company out here to think that he got the ups on me. You dig? With this situation, and he was standing next to Haitian Jack. And he said, I got the real footage and, I'm pulling rank. We gonna really do that and da-da-da. Implying that he was going to, I don't know, put out a Haitian Jack production or upstage me for that matter. My nigga, my shit made Benny Boone park it. My shit made Benny Boone park it and pack it up. We've been waiting. It's getting looking like 10 years that we've been waiting. My shit was almost 5 years ago. What's up with Benny Boone? He was already filming before I even got involved with Haitian Jack. My shit came out. After my shit came out, there was no reason. I didn't leave no stones unturned and shit. There was no reason. That Hip Hop Uncovered thing that happened with Big U and Bimmy and them guys and shit like that, I don't take nothing away from that. But my shit was first. My shit was more impactful. You dig what I'm saying? Because we could take you to a worse place and wooden tuxedos and all that type of shit. That shit can't be done again. That shit was bone chilling. That's on my shit. You know what I mean? The original and shit. Way before this nigga start dick riding and shit. Running over there fanboying. We know that you got on a plane and went over there to see Jack, my nigga. Because you want to go over there and talk to him face to face about the Keefe D situation and what's going on in that regard. Y'all don't want to be fucking around with no phones and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That last situation with Jack and Jimmy Henchman and shit, that shit could have been viewed as sloppy and shit, but I delivered the order. And I'm glad you're in tune with my situation and shit. You said another company, and I respect that, but you could never play on this level, my nigga. And I ain't gotta pay nobody to do it for me and shit. I handle the camera, I handle the mouse and the editing software. You know what I'm saying? From top to bottom, the dribble. So, you know what I mean? Get in tune and shit. You know what I'm saying? As far as Haitian Jack go, anything that he do in life for the rest of his days, I'm going to profit off of it. I want him to do great things. I want him to thrive. He gave me a shot. You know what I'm saying? I loved every moment of his hospitality over there and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It really, really put me in the mix. But my nigga, you too late. You know what I'm saying? You too late. I know you got a lot of other things to do besides deliver you go, we got the footage. You always running around talking about we got the footage and shit like that. Put something with your name on it. I ain't the type that you could just, put that type of shit out into the air like that. Nigga, put your name on something. Executive produce something. You know what I'm saying? Author something. I got all of those titles and shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just one of these niggas that be on the internet just talking for nothing and shit. You know what I mean? My conversation is monetized. Believe that. So, yeah, I seen what you said, my nigga. You know what I mean? Go ahead and put something out. Go ahead and put something out, my nigga. Like, I already did that to death, man, and I continue to get busy. But, yeah, I just wanted to address you, my nigga. I ain't got to say your name because you ain't say mine. But everybody know what time it is and shit. You know what I mean? If you in tune with what's going on online. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at Gully TV _. Follow me on Twitter at Gully TV1. Twitter is popping now and shit. Nick, you be on Twitter? You fuck with Twitter? Yeah, I've been working over there, man. I believe that Twitter, once it turned over to X, it seems to be a little bit more consumer friendly. What I mean by that is it seems like your chances of growing has increased once it turned to X. When it was at Twitter, your growth, your followers and shit like that, man, that shit was like a complicated situation. But X, if you talking to people, if you in the conversations, you in the battle rap conversations and shit, if you up there working and shit, tweeting and shit, like sharing, that shit works and shit. I recommend X. It's called X now. I recommend X, formerly known as Twitter, for anybody on the rise. I also recommend doing shorts on YouTube and shit. Like, YouTube is constantly improving and giving you more ways of doing content, you know what I'm saying? Whereas you could upload a video, and then if you want a little clip out of it to put on Instagram and shit, you can clip it right there on YouTube and shit, and download it and shit. Like, it's a lot of new tricks that they, you know, giving us that, you know, work with. It's becoming more engaging. Shout out to the YouTube community. That's where a lot of my views take place at. I don't have time to rely or bank my growth on whether or not these motherfuckers gonna send out notifications. Y'all ain't gonna send them out? That's cool. I'll send out my own notifications. That's tweets. That's shares. You dig what I'm saying? So, yeah, you got to do your own legwork if you want this shit to work out, period. Before I get up off here, I see the chick Sexy Red released a sex tape online and shit. Bitch, after the shit you said on your song and shit, there was nothing else for you to do besides get totally naked. Now you done shot your load and shit. Now, guess you can go on out to the porn world and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to be here, though, shorty and shit. I'm surprised that she jumped out there online, but, you know, people do this shit to feed their families and shit. I can't knock it. It's just not for me, and it ain't for people to be around me. Shout out to everybody who been tuning in. The truck drivers have been great. Truck drivers have been great, man. Y'all been showing big love on that super chat shit. I appreciate y'all, man. When y'all riding across country, man, turn me the fuck up. Pillmatic 2 on the way. The artwork is out. This one, it seems to be a little bit more difficult than the last because we got to make sure we keeping up with standards. And not only that, some of these niggas, man, they've become more successful, you know what I mean, in between times. So niggas is busy and got their own things going on. But y'all got to get them motherfucking verses turned in, man, so we can get this shit on. Lastly, I got this dope ass piece on here. This gonna be an extended, you know, version and shit. I interviewed one of my childhood friend associates. He wasn't my best friend and shit. I was tighter with someone in his crew, but he's a hip hop baby just like me. Been around me basically my whole life. My family know his and vice versa and shit. You know what I'm saying? Going back to the breaking era and the, you know, b-boying and beatboxing and hip hop. We was one of those little kids that was had access to that world because we had like older brothers and uncles and shit. It's like, so I would see him at street dances and places where kids wasn't at. I would see him there and shit. So our pedigree is similar, and he was getting big money. He was a street star and shit, man. We had some things in common, man. Both of us was, you know, I guess living vicariously through the music of Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang, Nas, Coogee Rap, that 95, 94, 95, 96 music catalog, man, that we just had that shit all up in us, and it affected our dress code, our speech, and everything, man. And in order to look like this music, we had to be getting money. You know what I'm saying? We had to be getting money. Like when Coogee Rap said, fresh out the slammer to the fame and glamour, cooking up grams with Armor Hammer, supplying scramblers in Alabama. We was just like trying to live that shit, you know what I'm saying? And his name is Age, man. Age Escobar and shit, man. He been through a lot, and I wanted to share his story and shit, man. I had been thinking about it for a long time, man. We had an encounter and shit. And I care about this dude, and I care about what happens with him and shit. But I told him, man, I said, man, I need you to come on my shit, man, and just tell your story and shit, man. But I put out part 1. It's already out. A lot of niggas hit me up and was talking about his burglary crew. His burglary crew, man. These niggas was robbing, and, you know, before the drug era and shit, like before young niggas could get their hands on drugs, man, we was all robbing, man. Like, we was robbing and stealing and shit. You know what I'm saying? I've said this before and shit. But he talked about getting booked, going through Glen Mills, Newcastle, running into King Odie. They was in the same spot. And ultimately getting into some, you know, some hot water with his uncle and some other niggas, which ended up sending him to the federal system and shit. But I ain't gonna speak much longer on it. I done been on here for almost 30 minutes, man. I want y'all to enjoy this. This is part 2 of Age Escobar, crime, addiction, and hip-hop. Peace.